Welcome to Bold Talk series, where creativity, leadership, ideas, innovation come together. My name is Epi Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Mark van Rijmenam, founder at Futurwise and one of the world's leading futurists, known for helping leaders make sense of the chaos of exponential change. Mark, great seeing you. Welcome to our Bold Talk series. How are you, my friend?
Very good. Thank you very much, Epi, for having me. I'm very good to be on the show again.
Yeah, well, last time we spoke was like a couple years ago. I couldn't believe it because we have such a great chemistry. We've done a little work together, and I just can't believe like the time flies so fast. So I'm so glad that we have this conversation here, and thank you for joining me with this Bold Talk series. So let's get started. First thing first, you've gone from calling yourself an optimistic dystopian to an architect of tomorrow. What changed for you, and what did you see in the world that made you step forward with that new voice?
Wow, that's such a good question. And yes, I am used to always call myself an optimistic dystopian. I kind of do that still a little bit because I think it allows me to have a balanced perspective on how the world is changing and evolving, and look at the technology from both the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I think it's also important to empower yourself to take an active role in designing and building a better future. And that's why I decided to move to the term architect of tomorrow. I really like that. When I was at high school, I always wanted to become an architect. Never managed to become an architect, like an architect of a building, designing houses, but what better than to design a better future? So I thought it fits well with how I see the world, how I'd like others to become architects of tomorrow as well, so that we all can design and build a better future for everyone. And I think that is something that the world really, really needs at the moment.
Yeah, well said. I mean, it's so important when you start to see the world from a perspective like what things can go wrong, which that's what you've been doing with a lot of research. You wrote two great books, which I'll go later on in this conversation, and that really gives you a great understanding that in order for us to be able to have a great future, we got to really think more like an architect. And so the architect for not just for building, but also for the technology and so on and so forth. So this is great, great way to put it. So Mark, when you work with world leaders and Fortune 500 companies, what's the first myth or misconception about AI that usually have that you?
Well, I think the biggest myth is that AI solves all their problems, and that AI is just this ready plug and play powerful technology that sort of automates the entire business by itself. And I think that's obviously not the case. There's still, I think the combination between humans and machines, they should really work together in harmony. They should really be aligned when they work. And it's neither humans or only agents, AI agents or automation. I think it's really the combination of the two. And that's often forgotten, where organizations think, oh, we'll just put in AI agents in our customer service center, and we can fire all our agents, our human agents, because we don't need them anymore. And I think there's plenty of examples from Duolingo, from Klarna, from other businesses who have seen that it actually doesn't work like that. The humans still play a very, very important role within organizations. And I think the best organizations are those that are able to find an optimal balance between the humans and the machines, because you can't do without them, but really find an optimal balance between the two.
Yeah. I mean, same thing like, for example, in the manufacturing world, right? And when you look at what the current factory looks like today, where the past factory used to be like in the early industrial age, we're certainly seeing like, the machines have really taken over. So there's a very, very little human, but that really drives a lot of productivity. And the same thing in here. And I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. Also, on the other hand, beside the misunderstanding one part, on the other hand, there's other part of that, who is having a full control on these new machines, and how they're going to be used this for better life of a human beings. So this is where the little bit of dystopian part comes into play. So love to hear your thoughts. Like, how do you see that? Like, do you see that today this incredible miracle technology that we have in front of us, it is handled properly by our leaders?
That's a very good question. And I don't think it is being handled properly. I think the way we are moving at the moment when it comes to developing this extremely powerful technology is way too fast, driven purely by capitalism without any or very, very limited thoughts for ethics and responsible AI, unbiased AI that doesn't want to replicate itself, or AI that doesn't want to prevent humans from destroying it, which is happening. So I think we are just we're experiencing this almost this perfect storm of capitalism and AI merging together, and that's a very dangerous combination. That's where my dystopic side really still plays an important role, because AI is such a powerful technology, and research is indicating that AI, regardless of who it is developing, whether it's the Western companies or it's the Eastern companies, it sometimes does have tries to have a life on its own, and it tries to prevent humans from shutting it down, or it's lying, or it's we don't fully control AI, and worse, we don't understand it. And I think our society rewards moving fast and breaking things. And that is really not the right approach when it comes to artificial intelligence. I think the best approach would be, and Elon Musk said it 2 years ago, but then didn't adhere to his own statement. And get sort of a pause to think a little bit, take a breather, think of how we want to develop this extremely powerful technology, which I know will never happen, but I think it would be very useful to, we have already extremely powerful technology that can do already a lot. Why don't we take a step back at the moment and look at what we have developed, try to understand what we have developed, and then move on? But unfortunately, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. You said that in the that intelligence age, the static knowledge dies. What does that mean for how leaders learn, and how do you keep your own knowledge alive?
Well, that's a very good question, and then that's I very much believe that, and that's why I actually created an digital twin, which I already have for a very long time. Was the first person in the world to create a digital twin of himself that you can talk to in 29 languages via text, audio, and video. But I actually brought it to my book. So if you read my book, Now What? How to Write a Tsunami of Change, you can actually have my digital counter ego on your WhatsApp, and you can talk to my digital counter ego, which is constantly being updated based on what's happening in the world as we speak. Books are linear; they are static. The moment they take a longer time to write. By the time you finish the manuscript, they take a long time to get into the market, and by the time the book reaches the market, parts are already outdated, and that's just the reality of it. That's nothing we can change about that. So that's why I thought, well, I'm going to link it to my digital twin, which is being constantly updated as the world changes, so you can get more context of what you're reading, and you can start to understand, okay, I'm reading this in the book, how has it evolved since the book was published? That's what I mean with dynamic knowledge. That's so important in a world that's changing so incredibly fast, and I hope the readers will like that.
Yeah. So with that creation of a digital twin on WhatsApp, you wanted to make sure that people are truly getting this real-time updated information, because as you said, like, books are completely, especially now, they become outdated so fast. It's not like where before, like, technology was moving a lot slow. Now this is exponential growth. And so with that, and with Now What, because you've written other books as well. I remember you did I read the book about the metaverse. Was that metaverse?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah. Step into
metaverse.
the metaverse. Yeah,
Then it was the other one was called the Organization of Tomorrow, right?
yeah,
And
correct.
well, connect with the blockchain. Tell us, like, in synchronicity, how do you see all these technologies now being mashed into what this future is going to look like?
Well, yeah. Well, I think we're going through this convergence where all the technologies feed into each other. And my first book 11 years ago, I was on big data, which was then back in the days sort of the hottest thing in town, and it evolved to blockchain and the Organization Tomorrow, which was based on my PhD research looking into big data, blockchain, and AI. And then the metaverse. My fifth book was written with ChatGPT, the first person in the world to do so, which was a great experience to actually understand how what a paradigm shift it was, the launch of ChatGPT. And this time I tried to take a step back, or actually step higher, and look at it from a higher helicopter view to understand what is happening in the world and how can we ride this tsunami of change, because the world is changing so fast. And in the book, amongst others, I describe 8 technologies. Artificial intelligence, because I think that's sort of the driver and the catalyst of all other technologies. Robotics, spatial intelligence, driving the metaverse, because the metaverse, people might think and hope it was gone, but it is back. It's bigger, it's bolder, and it will have an impact on everything that we do in the physical world. It's the blockchain, which I still hope that it will power everything that drives all the other technology, so that the data that we have we can actually trust while we're using it. It's quantum computing, which will help us solve some of the world's wicked problems, as well as cause really bigger other problems, such as the cracking of the standard RSA encryption. It's brain-computer interfaces where it will allow us to think with each other in ways that is a lot faster than we can do today. It's 3D printing, which will allow us to move from printing in factories in the Eastern world, in China, to printing whatever you need locally, completely changing geopolitics. And it is synthetic biology, which will help us to actually create life from scratch. And these 8 technologies is really disrupting everything. I think I forgot robotics. I'm not sure if I forgot, but robotics is one where we have 10 billion humanoids working alongside us by the end of next decade. So we have all these technologies that are really disrupting and colliding and converging, and that's fascinating and terrifying at the same time, because the world is changing so fast and it becomes so difficult to understand what is happening. I actually believe that there's maybe, 10,000 people in the world who truly understand what's happening. I consider myself one of them, but that's from 8 billion people. That's not a lot. And that's a dangerous precedent, that we have so few people who actually understand what's happening.
Yeah, that is for sure. I mean, I travel around the world constantly and I talk to a lot of leaders, and I can tell you, even the leaders, they're not well informed in terms of the dynamics where things are moving. I mean, we're living in times where every business being cannibalized either by force or by design. Okay, including the paper money, the fiat currency that we hold it in our hand, and we still don't even know how that's being created in the first place. And so you said it very well. So what do we need to do I mean, you're doing, so first of all, like, Mark, I truly appreciate you, because you're one of those unique guys. And I'm not saying because we're doing this together, this bold talk, but I'm saying because you truly walk the talk. Most people in your shoes, like a futurist, stick with stages, keynote stages, and that's it. You've written books, you're building platforms, you're building communities, you're doing hybrid characters. This is really unique. So you really have a unique perspective in terms of how we can really have better discussion, but you're immersing yourself in this. Like, do you think, like, the reason why people really didn't understand it because they're not immersing themselves in this and understand this better? Do you think that's the case?
Yes, I think so. Thank you for your kind word, by the way. Yes, I do think that's the case. But we can't expect everyone to immerse themselves in all these technologies all the time. People are busy leading their lives. I'm just this crazy guy who just does all these things at the same time. Yeah. But it is. I do believe that people should have a more open mind of what is happening, and should have a more open perspective. As I like to write in the book, we need to achieve this gestalt shift, where we can all of a sudden we see the world through a different lens. It's the famous duck-rabbit illusion. You either see a duck or a rabbit, but you can't see them both at once. And the moment you swap between them, you all of a sudden see the world through a different lens. And that's what I want people to achieve. That's my objective in everything that I do, is that we look at the world through a different perspective, because we have to, in a world that is changing so fast. So when it comes to my book, that's also the reason why I took a different perspective myself, where I looked at Western philosophy, at Eastern philosophy, at indigenous wisdom, at nature's perspective, to understand how do these different perspectives and these different concepts leverage disruption, and how do they deal with it. And I took lessons from that the world is all one interconnected place, and that we need more harmony in how we deal with these technologies. So I think that is really crucial. So that's what I've tried to write in my book, Now What? to really offer and nudge the reader into accepting that it is important to see the world from a different reality, through a different lens. And that our reality, your reality, my reality, the Western reality, the Eastern reality is not the reality, but there are multiple infinite realities. And I think that is really important to understand.
Yeah, and I can tell that for most of the people, their perception is the reality. So you can imagine, like, if you have not really gone through a lot of experiences, that perception, it's what your reality, and you kind of like locked in yourself in that zone. Mark, this is a short format conversation. I'm truly enjoying this. Maybe we'll have another great conversation, more in depth, and go deeper and have a longer format. You built Futurewise. Tell us a little bit about Futurewise. What are you achieving with the Futurewise?
Sure. So everything that I do is all revolves around making people more aware of what's happening. And so my keynotes that I do around the world is very tailored, very exclusive. And my book is already, a practical guide to help people understand how to do this. And Futurewise is my answer to help people actually do it. Because the world is changing so fast, as we discussed. Futurewise offers you hyper-personalized insights on fast-changing topics from trusted sources. We are currently in beta, very early days still, but we have a really big vision where we want to help people get smarter insights faster. And most importantly, we do that through trusted sources. So where we are at the moment, you can drop in an article, a video, a PDF, and very soon a podcast and academic papers, and you get a summary completely tailored to who you are as a person and how you like to consume content. Drop in a French YouTube video, and within 2 seconds, you have a Spanish summary, as an example. And over the coming months, we're going to expand that, where at some point you can say, well, I want to be kept up to date on whatever is happening in the artificial intelligence space, in industry X, region Y, and we'll send you a daily digest every day from trusted sources to keep you up to date so that you are in the know without being out of time. So that's in a nutshell what we do. There's a lot more to it, but it really helps you to get a better understanding of what is happening in this world. Because my vision is that if you better understand how the world is changing, you are better able to make better decisions for your personal lives and for your business, as well as for your society.
Yeah, great way to summarize it. And I started using it. It looks amazing. So I'll be giving you more feedback during this beta version. Mark,
Please do.
yeah, well, definitely. And Mark, I always ask this question to my guests. And the question is about the word bold. What does that mean to you personally?
Well, I think the word bold means to me is to dare to take risks, to dare to see a different world than some companies and some people in this world wants us to believe that is the future. To dare to take the future in your own hands and to empower yourself and your environment to do that with you. I think that is bold. To be able to do that, to have the guts to say, well, I want to design and build my own future. I want to design and build a future that works for everyone, instead of just for a select few.
Amazing. Great. Mark, so great seeing you. Congratulations. Great successes. Wishing you all the best. You're in Australia right now, where you are in.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm in Australia, but I travel all around the world to help organizations understanding what's going on. So who knows where you would find me next?
Yeah. So looking forward to seeing you. In the same time, stay warm, because I'm in Europe right now. It's hot here.
And it's cold here, so I'm wearing a sweater.
Until we see you next time, be great and be bold always. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye bye.